The anime begins by showing a dojo where a young girl named Isorubi Rikka is training in ninja arts with her grandfather Isorubi Hiyoi, the 26th head of the Isorubi clan. Hiyoi intentionally trains Rikka for combat as he is preparing her to be the successor of the Isoru ninja clan. In a training room, they engage in combat using their ninja weapons until Rikka sets off a bomb to escape from her grandfather. After the explosion, part of the dojo is damaged, while Hiyoi, still determined to capture his granddaughter, pretends to be injured. Rikka, unaware of his deceit, approaches to check on her grandfather, and that's when Hiyoi captures her, signifying her defeat. Shortly after, Hiyoi questions why Rikka drew her sword with the blunt side towards him, and she confesses she didn't want to harm or kill him. Upon hearing Rikka's answer, Hiyoi explains that as a ninja, they must be ready to kill anyone to fulfill their missions. But Rikka insists that she doesn't want to be a killer, so Hiyoi tries to understand her, but hopes that when Rikka grows up, she'll become a respected successor to the clan. With the training concluded, Rikka bids farewell to go to her father's laboratory, Isorubi Allen, located in the basement. In the lab, Rikka eagerly asks her father to play chess and soccer, but since Allen is busy with his work, he introduces three robotic animal drones named Kasumi the eagle, Oboro the dog, and Madara the flying squirrel. Seeing the three robots, Rikka appears happy and excited to play with them. She then expresses her desire to become a scientist like Allen when she grows up. Unexpectedly, Hiyoi, who has just bathed and is walking past the laboratory door, accidentally overhears Rikka and Allen's conversation. At that moment, he feels disappointed that Rikka prefers to become a scientist rather than a ninja and continue the Isorubi clan legacy. Meanwhile, inside the laboratory, Allen grants Rikka the freedom to pursue her dreams because he just wants to see his daughter happy. He also admits feeling guilty for being busy with his research lately and not having time to play with Rikka. He intends to quit his job as a scientist and shows a photo of himself with two other scientist colleagues named Brad Ingram and Lauren. Several years later, in the city of Gradsheim, teenage Rikka becomes more determined to become a scientist like her father. While texting Allen, she decides to go back home and shock her father and grandfather with the news that she passed the entrance exam for a university, where she aims to study as a scientist. On the other hand, Allen and Hiyoi have also prepared a surprise for Rikka, who is celebrating her birthday that day. As Allen is busy messaging his daughter, he is suddenly approached by his old friend, Brad, who asks Allen to return to work at the laboratory and continue the unfinished animal drone project. When Allen hears this, he rejects Brad's request because he believes Brad and Lauren would use his invention to make weapons for war. Upset by the refusal, Brad instructs his troops to take Allen's drone files from the laboratory. Not long after, Rikka finally arrives at the dojo and is shocked to see her home in disarray and bloodstains everywhere. Without hesitation, she rushes to the laboratory to find Allen, who is injured from gunshot wounds to his arm. After that, mercenaries infiltrate the laboratory to search for the drone files and eliminate Allen to cover their tracks. Suddenly, a smoke bomb from Hiyoi rolls into the room, hindering the attackers. At the same time, Hiyoi uses his ninja skills to incapacitate the mercenaries until Lauren intervenes, stopping Hiyoi's shuriken attack. Upon knowing this, Lauren activates the kinetic and electric powers of his daughter Mia, who he has been experimenting on. To confront Hiyoi, Hiyoi tries to defend his family from the gunfire while Allen also acts, releasing his three animal drones to help Rikka escape. As Hiyoi defends his family, Allen is shot by one of the mercenaries. Before he dies, Allen expresses his love for Rikka, bringing her to tears. At the same time, Allen's three animal drones manage to engage the mercenaries before finally carrying Rikka away from the laboratory. Watching the massacre of her family from above, Rikka harbors a deep grudge against Brad and Lauren. She then goes down into a hidden room of her family to gather all her ninja gear, determined to seek revenge for the deaths of Allen and Hiyoi. 6 months later, Rikka, using the name Lily as her new identity, is seen living in Gradsheim and working as a private detective under the command of Harold Barkley at the Berkeley Agency. While Rikka is in a park monitoring a former employee who used to work for Brad's company, she suddenly receives a call from Harold assigning her a mission to capture a cat named Sugar that has escaped. Without hesitation, Rikka quickly completes the mission and successfully captures Sugar. However, as she is about to carry out her ninja mission to interrogate the person she had been observing earlier, Sugar escapes from the cage and tries to run away again. Rikka captures Sugar once more, But unfortunately, the cat damages her advanced ninja jacket and tries to leap off the building. Fortunately, using her ninja abilities, Rikka catches Sugar and gives it back to the owner. After completing her mission, Rikka chooses to go back to her rented apartment that she shares with a girl named Melissa. Upon arriving at the apartment, Rikka is welcomed by Melissa, who is busy cooking dinner for them. After dinner, Rikka goes back to her room to fix her jacket that was previously damaged by Sugar's claws. Not long after, Rikka resumes her action as an Isorugi clan ninja to gather information about the Gradshan company, which was responsible for her family's death. She is observed chasing a man she had previously investigated to interrogate him. The terrified man quickly flees to the rooftop, and Rikka deliberately knocks him down before saving him by throwing some katana to pin him against the building wall. Out of fear, the man eventually reveals the company's location in District D and pleads to be rescued, but Rikka intentionally allows him to fall to conceal her actions. Another day, Rikka conducts surveillance on Brad's company building to study its security level. A security guard who sees her photographing Brad's office building quickly approaches her, deeming her suspicious. At that moment, Rikka introduces herself as Lee, a private detective on an assignment. The security guard doubts her story and tries to capture her, but Mia steps in and asks the guard to let Rikka go. Although they had met previously, they don't seem to remember each other. As a thank you for Mia's assistance, Rikka invites her to play chess together. On another occasion, Mia finds herself in the laboratory as a test subject for Lauren. Feeling frustrated with her father's actions, Mia refuses to wear the consciousness control necklace that causes her to lose control. Lauren tries to persuade Mia by saying that it is her last experiment for the day. Hearing this, Mia reluctantly complies with her father's words and wears the consciousness control necklace again. Shortly after, Lauren conducts a painful experiment, causing Mia to scream in pain. Meanwhile, Rikka and her 3 drones are observed scouting around Lauren's headquarters. Using the advanced technology of Kostumi and Madara, she obtains a map of the enemy's territory, allowing her to disable surveillance cameras and sneak into the headquarters. Upon entering the enemy headquarters, Rikka is surprised to see dozens of Alan's animal drones modified into weapons of war. Therefore, Rikka intends to destroy all of these animal drones before they are misused by irresponsible parties. Unfortunately, just before she takes action, Rikka is attacked by Mia, who appears in her costume cloak and has lost control due to the effects of Lauren's necklace. After that, they engage in a fight until Rikka is pushed against the wall and her mask comes off. At the same time, Mia's consciousness returns, realizing that she is fighting Lee, her friend. During the confusion, Lauren shows up, leading Rikka, who harbors resentment toward him, to move quickly to attack the scientist. However, Mia tries to intervene. Rikka then activates the invisibility mode on her ninja jacket and jumps upward, while Lauren is seen aiming his pistol upward. Fortunately, Rikka avoids Lauren's shot after Madara protects her. Shortly after, Rikka intends to attack Mia, but after realizing that the figure behind the head covering is her friend, Rikka halts her attack. Meanwhile, Lauren, who also holds a grudge against Alan as his rival, decides to press the destruction button on the necklace worn by Mia to kill Rikka. Despite knowing that Mia would die in the destruction, Lauren seems indifferent and chooses to flee. Meanwhile, Rikka, watching the situation, couldn't stand to see her friend in pain, so she chose to save Mia before Lauren's headquarters collapsed. Rikka and her animal drones then bring Mia to the sewers to kill her, but right before Rikka does it, she recalls her father's advice about forgiveness. Therefore, Rikka changes her mind and decides to let Mia live. At the same time, Lauren is seen surviving the ruins of his headquarters and leaving, carrying his remaining research equipment through the deserted streets of the city. Returning to Rikka, she finally brings the unconscious Mia to her residence to be treated by Melissa, because Rikka has to return to work as a private detective. After dreaming sweetly about her father, Mia wakes up, and Melissa explains that Mia was saved by Rikka, known as Lee. When realizing that it's already evening, Melissa immediately prepares dinner, and after Rikka returns, the 3 of them meet together. Although the atmosphere becomes awkward due to the misunderstanding between Mia and Rikka about the massacre of the Isorugi clan. Rikka actually knew that Mia was not guilty in that tragedy because Mia was under the control of Lauren's necklace, so Rikka finally forgives her new friend. Several days later, Mia meets Rikka to express her gratitude for rescuing her from her father's laboratory wreckage. Feeling remorseful for her father's actions against Rikka's family, Mia borrows Melissa's phone and calls her father, urging him to surrender to the police and admit to all his crimes. However, Lauren, being crafty, deceives them by claiming he is ready to turn himself into the police, but insists on meeting Mia one last time before going to jail. Without suspicion, Mia agrees, even telling her father where she is at that moment. Upon hearing this information, Lauren immediately connects his research equipment to the power source on the roadside, causing a blackout in part of Gradsham in his pursuit of superpowers like Mia. The next morning, Rikka's residence came under attack from an animal drone controlled by Lauren. Mia, aware of this, felt increasingly guilty, so she helped Rikka confront the animal drone. When Mia apologized for her father's animal drone, Rikka seemed unfazed and decided to face the drone. She also instructed Melissa and her animal drones to help the apartment residents evacuate the building to save themselves. Following a battle with the animal drone, Rikka purposely leads it to the Isorubi clan ninja dojo to avoid harming innocent people. Upon arriving at the ninja dojo, Rikka fought the drone again until she finally managed to destroy it. Lauren, unwilling to accept defeat, then deliberately destroyed the dojo by causing a large explosion that rendered Rikka and her drone unconscious. Mia, who was there, attempted to shield Rikka with her abilities. Despite Lauren's powerful attacks, Mia stood her ground and kept battling her father. Shortly after, Rikka, upon waking up, suddenly stumbled into the basement and discovered Alan's and Hioi's secret room. In the partially destroyed room, Rikka found a hologram message from her father and grandfather wishing her a happy birthday. In his message, Alan also praised Rikka's decision not to kill anyone as a brave decision for a ninja. He and Hio had prepared an advanced ninja costume for her, which they had intended to give her as a birthday present. Without hesitation, Rikka opened the gift and put it on to fight against the superpowered Lauren. With her ninja powers, Rikka managed to defeat Lauren, but he secretly attached a power control necklace to Mia, who intended to help him. Before dying, Lauren asked Mia to destroy everything. Rikka then tried to awaken Mia while avoiding all her friends' attacks, and luckily, Rikka succeeded in awakening Mia after she destroyed the necklace. A few days later, the corruption of Gradshin Corporation was finally exposed, so Grad issued an apology to all citizens through a press conference. He stated that he would bear all the costs of damage and life insurance for the victims caused by Lauren's recklessness. Meanwhile, in her rented room, Rikka was tidying up when she accidentally saw the press conference. It jogged her memory that Brad was one of Alan's friends who orchestrated the attack on the Isaru ninja clan. That night, Brad in his office schemed a plan for Rikka through Melissa. In the final scene of the anime, Rikka, Melissa, and the drone robots are shown on the rooftop, getting ready to assault Brad's headquarters. Moral lesson from the story: never chase a cat with a broken ninja jacket unless you're prepared to fix it on the fly with some animal drone. And if your ninja costume gets torn by cat, just remember, science jacket can fix with tape, and maybe a little bit of ninja magic.